It's another nice and cool and comfortable morning, and we continue our great stretch of weather as we go through this week. But our cold front, that's going to change things a bit. I'll have the details coming up.
Early voting starts today, and I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know before you head out to the polls.
And family and friends continue to remember the life of an Alamo police officer killed while on the job. What the police department plans to do to honor the fallen officer.
And a downtown Macon nightclub could soon learn where its future stands after violence near its business over the past year. What commission plans to talk about today.
Well, good Tuesday morning. You're taking a live look over a beautiful downtown Macon. The time is now 6:31 a.m. on this October the 12th. Might I say, Central Georgia, this Tuesday. It's looking good on you. I'm Wanya Reese.
And I'm Caitlin Heck. And for some of you coming back from a long weekend, stepping outside, it feels so good. A refreshing way to kick off the work week, Courtney.
That's right. Yeah, it is. It's cool. It's comfortable out there. It feels fall-like. 63 right now in the city of Macon. Of course, you're looking live on top of Atrium Health Navicent. Have seen quite a few people out and about already in downtown. It is looking busier out there. Of course, yesterday, I know a lot of you probably sleeping in, as you should have. Deserved it. 63 in the city of Warner Robins, 66 in Montezuma, 64 in Butler. We're at 63 in Dublin. It looks like Sandersville, you're the cool spot this morning at 58 and 64 in Monticello. We do have a little bit of fog forming this morning. It looks like Taylor County, you have about 3 miles of visibility, so that's probably just making it look a little more eerie out there. But in southern Dodge, less than a quarter mile of visibility in some spots south of Eastman for the start of the day. So just be extra careful if you are walking out the door to that this morning. As we go through the day, a warm afternoon. We'll start the morning with some extra cloud cover, so partly to mostly cloudy skies, and those will naturally decrease as we go through the day with temperatures in the low 80s. We'll keep our forecast looking very much the same as we go through the rest of this work week, but our cold front, that's going to bring some pleasant changes by the end of the 7-day. Those details are in a few minutes.
Well, in just 3 weeks, voters will head to the polls to decide several Central Georgia races.
If you want to get a head start on voting, you can. Early voting starts in just a few hours in a lot of cities, including out in Warner Robins.
Well, our morning reporter Taylor Hicks joins us live outside the House and County Board of Elections. Good morning, Taylor. What do voters need to know before they head out this morning?
Good morning, Wanya and Caitlin. If you are a Houston County voter and you plan to vote early, there are a few things that you need to know. So voting will take place at the Houston Health Pavilion and here at the Houston County Board of Elections. Doors will open today from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. But Tuesday is not the only day that you'll be able to cast your vote early. You have 16 other dates to choose from, and you will need to bring your ID to the polls with you before you can vote. And coming up in just a few minutes, I'm going to tell you everything that you need to know if you plan to do absentee voting. Reporting live in Perry, I'm Taylor Hicks, 13 WMAZ News.
Thank you for that all that information, Taylor. Now, this year, Warner Robins voters have 4 races on the ballot.
That's right. That includes the mayor's race and 3 city council seats, posts 1, 3, and 5. And for everything you need to know about the Warner Robins races, head to 13WMAZ.com. Just search 2021 Warner Robins election guide, and it will be the first story that pops up. There you'll find info about early voting dates and candidates.
You can also make it even easier to get that election guide sent right to your phone. Just text the word vote, just that word, to the number on your screen. It's 478-752-1309. And remember, text that number, don't call, so we can send the information to you. Now let's take a closer look this morning at 2 other election headlines. Next year, you'll vote again in a U.S. Senate race in Georgia.
Current Senator Raphael Warnock seat comes up for grabs. One of the people looking to fill it is former University of Georgia running back and Wrightsville native Herschel Walker. Now we're learning what his campaign efforts look like. His team announced they've raised $3.7 million since they launched their campaign just over 5 weeks ago. They say they've gotten donations from nearly 50,000 people from all 50 states.
Officials in Georgia's most populous county fired 2 workers accused of shredding paper voter registration applications. This is file election video. A Fulton County Elections Office statement says a preliminary review suggests employees may have checked out batches of applications for processing, and instead of fully processing them, in some cases they allegedly shredded some of the forms. Fellow employees reported this to their supervisor last week. The 2 employees were fired that day. The county reported the alleged actions to the Secretary of State's office and the District Attorney's office for investigation. The state's already reviewing the county's elections operations. Now on to two other stories we are following from across the Peach State. Today, former Georgia Insurance Commissioner Jim Beck will learn how long he will spend in prison.
In July, jurors actually convicted the 60-year-old on 37 counts of wire fraud, mail fraud, money laundering, and tax fraud. Prosecutors are asking a federal judge to sentence Beck to 10 years in prison, while defense lawyers are asking for a shorter sentence. Beck's trial detailed a scheme that channeled more than $2.5 million from the Georgia Underwriting Association to his own bank accounts. Beck managed the insurer before he was being elected to that statewide office. Authorities are now looking for the man accused of killing a UGA student in a hit and run.
Athens Clark County police say Ariana Zarce died after a car hit her as she crossed the road. The driver then pulled away and Zarce died. Yesterday, police said they identified the driver who they believe hit her as 29-year-old Dontaris Gresham. They say they've issued active warrants for his arrest for several charges, including vehicular homicide.
Turning to other news this morning, one person is recovering after a shooting in South Macon. Deputies say it happened near Nelson and Blount Streets. They say one person got shot but is expected to be okay. Investigators are still working to figure out what led up to the shooting.
And on Friday, friends and family will say their final goodbyes to an Alamo police officer killed over the weekend.
Someone shot Officer Dylan Harrison early Saturday while he was on the job. Right now, a Wheeler County man faces a murder charge in connection to his death. Harrison's funeral is Friday at the Stanley Funeral Home in Dublin, but yesterday mourners came from 2 counties and joined law officers from all around central Georgia to pay their respects. You see it right there. Blue lights and loud sirens took over downtown Dublin as dozens of strangers and friends showed up and lined the side of the North Jefferson Street in support of Harrison's family.
He leaves behind his wife and their baby boy Brody. He worked full-time with the Oconee Drug Task Force. His parents, Jeff and Katie Harrison, say Dylan started working extra shifts with the Alamo Police Department to make more money and build a bigger house for his family. The outpouring of support makes David Harrison proud to be Dylan's older brother.
You know, I've always known we had a tight-knit family. We always support each other under any circumstance, but the outpour from the community has been just mind-blowing to me. You know, I knew my brother was well known in what he did, but I had no idea of the kind of impact he left on the community and other law enforcement agencies around the state.
And we send our condolences to his family.
Story.
Now, before joining the Drug Task Force 2 years ago, Officer Harrison worked for Middle Georgia State University Police and for East Dublin Police.
Alamo's Police Department plans to present a plaque and a flag to his wife. They also plan to retire his call sign and badge number. This morning, we have an update in the case of an officer killed 5 years ago. The accused killer of an Eastman police officer, Tim Smith, may soon go to trial. The district attorney for the Oconee Judicial Circuit, Tim Vaughn, says suspect Rohim Deeds could go on trial next year. A Superior Court judge recently gave the defense until November the 19th to file pretrial motions to give prosecutors until January 22nd of next year to respond. Motion hearings in the case could happen in late January or February. So far, there isn't a trial date that has been set. Today, jury selection continues in the trial for 3 former Washington County deputies accused in a deadly tasing case.
The process started yesterday. Henry Lee Copeland, Michael Howell, and Rhett Scott faced murder charges in connection to the death of Yuri Martin. It happened along a rural road in July of 2017. 2 years ago, a judge threw out those murder charges, ruling that the 3 were protected by qualified immunity. Well, in 2020, the Georgia Supreme Court overruled that judge and said the case should go to trial. Also today, we could learn more about what lies ahead for a downtown Macon nightclub.
That's right. Macon County commissioners will start to talk about the future of the Thirsty Turtle and whether it will be able to reopen or not. This comes after 2 deadly shootings near the business in the past year. On Black Friday, you might remember last year, a shooting along Cherry Street left 1 woman dead and 7 other people hurt. The Bibb County Sheriff's Office says the shooting started with a fight either inside or outside the Thirsty Turtle.
Less than a year later, in July, another shooting left 2 people dead. It came after a fight that Sheriff David Davis says began in the area of the Thirsty Turtle. The Sheriff's Office temporarily suspended the club's alcohol license after both shootings. Today, Commission will consider if they'll return that license or permanently close the club. Their committee meeting starts at 9 this morning. Oh, the time is now 6:40. Man, how lucky have we been so far with this fair weather?
Very lucky.
And it's going to continue, Courtney.
Yeah, it is for pretty much the rest of the fair. The only exception is maybe a small rain chance on Saturday, and we're going to cover all of that. But that rain chance is going to be thanks to a cold front. And Sunday, so the last day of the fair, is going to be phenomenal. We'll get there. First, of course, we have to talk about today. Today's going to be great as well. Here is your faircast for today. If you are getting up and early and heading out to the fair to go enjoy all the food, nothing like funnel cakes for breakfast. That's acceptable on fall break and when the fair is in town. 68 as we head towards 10 o'clock. 81 is our afternoon high temperature as we head towards 3. And then if you are planning on heading out later tonight, temperatures will cool pretty quickly. We'll have mostly clear skies. Overall, a great looking day on the way for any of your fair festivities. Of course, you're looking live on top of the fairgrounds in Perry, all lit up, waiting for you to come and enjoy it as we go through the day today. 64 to get the morning started for all of you probably heading back to work after a long weekend. I hope you enjoyed it. The weather really was such a nice improvement after last work week. 64 in the city of Warner Robins. We're at 64 in Macon, 60 in Gordon, 58 in Sandersville, 66 in Montezuma, and 64 in Unadilla, 60 in Eastman. So our cool and dry morning, thanks to high pressure that's in control. We could have a few extra clouds around as the sun starts to rise, of course, is when you'll notice it most. And that's thanks to a cold front that's out to our west. We have a little wave of energy that's pushing out ahead of it. And that's simply offering us just a little more cloud cover. That front that's immediately to our west, not really going to bother us other than just offering us that extra cloud cover. The front that we're going to be watching is all the way out to the west in parts of the Rockies. Notice you can see these gray colors here. Yeah, that's snow. In fact, they're forecasted in parts of Wyoming and Montana to have 2 feet of snow. Crazy winter weather conditions, but just giving you an idea of how cold the air is behind that front. And we are going to get a piece of that as finally our ridge of high pressure that's blocking any of the cool air from spilling in, that's going to start to dissipate and push out of the way. That's going to allow the jet stream to take a nice deep dive behind that front, and that's going to give us some of that cooler air. It's going to be phenomenal as we head into Sunday morning. We're talking low 50s, low humidity. You are not going to want to do everything indoors. You need to get outdoors on Saturday because Sunday, excuse me. Look at these temperatures. Low to mid 80s. Saturday we could be in the low 80s. It all depends on the timing of that front. The earlier it moves through, the cooler will be. But notice Sunday, we're only in the mid 70s with low humidity, lots of sunshine. We're going to wake up in the low 50s Sunday and Monday with a nice little breeze. It'll be beautiful. In the meantime, warm and dry with temperatures in the low to mid 80s. We'll have a chance for a few showers come Saturday afternoon along that cold front.